Following Game 2 of the 2026 NBA Finals, Shaquille O'Neal had a simple diagnosis for why Victor Wembanyama looked lost. Shaq looked at the 22-year-old Spurs star and questioned his energy, his aggression, and his overall effort on basketball's biggest stage. Charles Barkley immediately fired back. To Barkley, this had nothing to do with effort. He argued that Wembanyama was simply in shock, that the sheer physicality of Knicks center Karl Anthony Towns was leaving the young star staggered. This loud television debate completely consumed the post-game coverage, but fixating on whether Wembanyama has the right mindset completely ignores what is actually happening on the floor. Barkley is right that Wembanyama is taking a beating, but the Spurs aren't losing because their superstar lacks toughness. They are down 2-0 because the New York Knicks have engineered a precise tactical nightmare designed to completely neutralize him. The pressure surrounding this series is enormous. The New York Knicks are exactly 3 wins away from securing their first NBA championship in 53 years. They entered these finals riding an 11-game postseason winning streak, pushing it to 12 in Game 1, and they are doing it with authority, winning almost every single matchup by double digits. Standing in their way is head coach Mitch Johnson and his San Antonio Spurs. At an average age of just 25, they are the second youngest team to ever reach the NBA Finals. We are watching 2 opposite roster-building philosophies collide. This is a clash between heavy-hitting, battle-tested veterans and historically inexperienced prodigies. The foundation of this next run comes from a major shift in strategy. Under new head coach Mike Brown, New York has moved away from heavy isolation scoring, where one player creates a shot on his own, that defined the Tom Thibodeau era. Instead, Brown is running the primary offense through Karl Anthony Towns at the top of the key. Looking at this schematic, you see the exact spacing problem for San Antonio. By positioning a blue dot on the perimeter, Wembanyama is dragged out of the paint. With his rim protection removed, Knicks guards drive freely into an undefended paint for easy layups. On the other end of the floor, the Spurs haven't been able to counter. They're missing the critical three-point shots required to make their own small ball lineups viable against New York's heavy size. The Knicks have tactically engineered a system that makes it impossible for Wembanyama to utilize his greatest defensive strengths. Once the tactics pull the Spurs out of position, the second phase of New York's strategy kicks in. They deploy an overwhelming old-school physicality designed to completely exhaust the younger roster. You can see this grit perfectly in Jalen Brunson. During Game 1, he suffered scary collisions to both his knee and his ankle, yet he stayed on the floor to drop 30 points, including 13 in the fourth quarter alone. That physical overachievement bleeds directly into the rebounding margins. At just 6'5", Josh Hart secured 15 rebounds in the series opener, simply by outmuscling the taller San Antonio bigman. Meanwhile, Mitchell Robinson is operating as the team's enforcer. Playing through a fractured finger, he has been intentionally tingling with Spurs players under the rim, even drawing technical fouls to set a bruising tone. This constant battering from Robinson and Towns wore Wembanyama down, frustrating him into an abysmal 6-for-21 shooting performance in Game 1. Charles Barkley's assessment was accurate. The Knicks are quite literally battering a young roster that lacks the mass and experience to survive a street fight. The Knicks hold a commanding 2-0 series lead because of systematic execution, not luck. This brings us back to Shaquille O'Neal. Demanding that a 22-year-old simply play with more aggression against a perfect counter strategy reveals a deep misunderstanding of modern championship basketball. The 2026 finals are providing a harsh lesson. Raw generational talent must eventually bow to elite tactical maturity, precise floor spacing, and veteran resilience. Victor Wembanyama is destined to own the future of this league, but the tactical and physical mastery of the New York Knicks strictly owns the present.